So we're recording, and hello everyone. I'm Pamela Strum, and I do a lot of energy work and healing work. And there are incredible modalities for which I'm a conduit, light years and grid light healing, that have to do with your structure, the building blocks of the universe are your building blocks too. So I work with energy, sacred geometry, the Fibonacci sequence, and even unwinding people all the way back down to their sacred diamond light. So there's a lot that has to do with staying in your heart. So today I wanted to go live because I did the recording, if you saw it, on Georges Seurat, and I picked Sunday in the Park because that's the one for which I'm most familiar. But to talk about perspective, and this information has come through literally starting last year with 2020 and the whole COVID situation. People started to contact me and ask, well, Pamela, you've been talking about things happening at this time. What do you think? What do you think? And I kept getting images of Georges Seurat paintings where there are dots. And the issue is that we fixate on dots in our lives and what happens when we do that. So as opposed to looking at a whole picture and putting things in perspective. And this is not to bypass, because it's not good or bad. Sometimes fixating on a dot is really important because we're being called to process something or be aware of something. So if you are ever in physical danger, emotional danger, this conversation doesn't apply to that, right? You need to fixate and focus in and get yourself out of any harm's way. So many times working with people, I work with them, like I sense that they're fixated on something and I'll say, gosh, as soon as this person processes this information and switches their perspective on focusing so narrowly, they're incredible. They're so powerful. I tend to see how amazing people are. Yeah. Because we all are, and we're all really powerful. And so in sharing that and doing healing work. So the Georges Seurat image, I ignored it. And I ignored it through maybe Black Lives Matter, where talking about color, and it wouldn't leave me alone. So I didn't quite know what I was supposed to say. And I thought, okay, let me just put it out there and we'll see what comes through. And this is what's coming through. And so here we go. So perspective. So I'm going to do this because I did it in the Georges Seurat talk, and for any of you who didn't see it, you can go back. It's not necessary for this. But let's say I have a dot, and I'm using a dot because of the Georges Seurat painting. So here we go. This is something going on. Now I also work with some people who are really super physically sick, and they're quite ill in their bodies. So this isn't. So what does this mean? So sometimes something calls our attention. And here we go. Oh my gosh, I have a dot on my chin, and maybe I need to attend to that dot and help heal that dot. And this can happen energetically. This can be a situation, but I'm showing you to make a real point here. And it's a real obvious point, right? And it is a point. So we lose sight of the big picture. So what we're going to go through today is talking about perspective, and immediately bringing in things that you can do, and then doing a meditation. So you can use that meditation. You can just skip on over this when you get the recording and go right to the pointed subject, right? And practice, because it's all a practice to maintain a perspective. I have a lot going on too. Most people have a lot going on in their lives. So where do you carry joy within you? Where do you maintain your divine sovereignty? Where are you grateful for life and maintain the perspective that you are operating with a gift of your life to have experiences? So you go into pointed experiences and expand out, and go in and go out. And so you come into something and then you expand out to connect yourself to your source perspective, because that expanded perspective is you as source. Now, I don't know, some of you watching me might be like really staring at this. Is this bothering you? I don't know. Maybe not. Oh, I lost my dot. So what ends up happening is we, at times in life, and it could be anything. So just come into your heart a minute and feel into something, because if it's something that you is for your highest and best good, it will bring you, yes, it will bring you to that expanded perspective. You will be in your source. You will feel very strong within yourself. But if it's something that is getting very dense, with whatever you think and focus upon and add your emotion to it, is what you create in your life. And that's a law of the, those are laws of the universe. So you're focusing upon something, you have emotions, you start to develop you density. If it's not for your highest and best good, it narrows you, and then you get trapped and unable to expand. You know, so you focus on something, maybe it's something that you are to attend to, it's something with your health, it's something with your well-being, but then you want to expand back out and put it in perspective as simply a dot, simply an experience with nothing attached to it. This can be a real challenge, right? So someone on here has some background noise. So I'm going to just mute you all a moment, and I'll unmute you in a moment. All right, so, okay, everyone's just muted right now for a moment. So when we expand the perspective, the reason to do this is that any problem you have becomes teeny, right? It becomes that single dot within many dots. And you start to realize that really your life is a work of art. We're all so beautiful, so powerful. And how do we get to seeing that within ourselves? What also starts to happen is that when you hold that perspective, you have access to aligned energy. So you open up with your higher frequency a capacity to access aligned energy. And it becomes very easy to pull in other energy toward you, whether it's aligned people, aligned circumstances that help you shift out of challenging situations. You draw to you what can seem like a miracle, and you don't have to tell the universe how. The universe will automatically bring to you that the circumstances, the support, the frequencies that bring into your life what it is that you wish to create. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit, because a lot of you on this call are energy workers and you deal with energy, I'm going to address that. The painting, and you've all heard, I'm going to try to unmute you all now again. The painting analogy, you've all heard about, you know, life is a play. And, you know, we're all actors on the stage, right? So that's what this is sort of doing with the painting. It's an illusion. And I'm going to start talking about the matrix. So what ends up happening, really, we have energy possibilities. And if you zero in on one stream of energy, you're going to create that stream of energy within your playing field, within your painting. So Georges Seurat started with a blank canvas and pixelated that blank canvas into a work of art. And that's what we're doing with our lives. There's no judgment. There's no judgment around the colors. It's part of the work of art. So what's tricky for me when I work with people, especially who are physically suffering or mentally suffering, is with the goal to shift them to an expanded perspective, realize that what they're going through is simply a dot in a huge canvas. Sometimes with that, Okay, hold on. Allow participants to unmute themselves. Yes, you can all unmute yourselves if you'd like to. With that, it can take practice, and sometimes that's where I come in working with people, is really bumping them into that field of expansion. And it's something that comes to me because I receive things as energy and sacred geometry, and we all play with energy. It's simply becoming aware that we do that. So let me see if there's anything else. Would anyone like to say anything before I continue?
I had just said, yeah, our previous conversation yesterday and watching your video as well, and I realized that I was bottlenecking my energy, and it was like, oh my gosh, I got to get out of this so I can keep that expanded and continue to allow my growth and expansion. But I didn't realize, by focusing on like, what is this? Why is this feeling weird? Why am I feeling disconnected? Why am I feeling kind of plateaued? It's just like all these weird feelings inside, but also realizing we're going through an ascension. We're going to have things that we've never experienced, and just, that I just need to sit in my energy and ask my body, what does it need? Ask my divine self, what does it need at this time? Exactly at this present time, what do I need? And as I've been doing that, I'm seeing myself, continuing this. But yes, it was so helpful with talking to you to realize, oh, okay, just let it go. Let it flow. Don't attach to it.
That's exactly it. So thank you for saying that, Crystal, because what ends up, okay, energy workers, and for anyone who listens to this who's not, just relax, relax, relax. Just relax your brain and receive as much as you're willing to. So if I had my dot, if it hadn't dropped into disappearance, you'd see what I mean. If I put something on myself, and especially something that's causing us pain, right? We bring in judgment. Oh, this is bad. Oh, how ugly that is. What the heck is that person doing? How dare they? And all of these dense dynamics can come in. It happens to everyone. It happens to everyone. But when I catch myself going down that slippery slope of density, so that pigeonholing of, and it's not something that's threatening me, it's not something that, it's really calling my attention. What ends up happening is it's a wake-up call. Wait a minute. And I'm going to get to this shortly. What you touched upon is to say, what do I need? Turn it back to yourself. What's happening with me in my experience, creating my life? What am I experiencing? And sometimes it's that we're playing with duality. We're playing with contrast. And because life truly, we're in an enormous expansion. We're being supported by so much light. The whole world seems almost unsettling because everything is changing. And a lot of us feel that, and it brings up what is to be cleared, experienced, recognized, witnessed within us. So we can make a choice about what we're doing with our own life. And as we release, and part of release is really forgiveness, and it comes through us forgiving ourselves. As we release, we get into that sovereign perspective, that source perspective, and we realize we're creating it. And it's an illusion. Now, I'm not, once again, bypassing, as you just said, something's really going on in your life, but put it in perspective. And when you do that and you release it from yourself, you're healing the planet because you're releasing it from our infinite connections to the universe, to globally to other sentient beings. And you heal that within yourself. You shift the energy and the connections, the grids, the matrix of how we connect to others, to have agreed to create this performance on the stage, where we have agreed to be a part of this painting. So some of it is us individually, our own dot, and some of it is that we're really a part of a work of art, playing with ourselves as connected, source energy, feeling ourselves as if we're not connected, but we're always connected. Would anyone else, I'm calling to give a moment for people, anyone to comment. Okay. And what's really important as you realize, as you expand yourself out, you may only change what belongs to you. So if you decide to make the whole painting yours, you decide to make the whole world yours, you then access that energy. That's what you can change. If you shrink yourself down as to being one dot, one tiny perspective, it's very, very challenging to access other energy to help you shift and heal. But it becomes very easy when you widen your perspective and attract aligned energy to you. And you'll notice that it's much more easy to flow. That's where the flow of energy comes in. And whether or not you're aware of it, the flow of your sacred geometrical structures are in constant movement. And really, your sacred geometrical structures works its way into creating your DNA, your RNA. It's the creation of you. And your heart is your pulsation of source that's uniquely you thinking you're separate from source energy. Is that a little too blown out there? I wanted to put that out there because really that's what's happening, is you stepping into your sovereignty, your power. And when you step into your power, and as we're being supported in the energy of the universe, like, wow, that big, big, big perspective. Oh my gosh, everyone, what's happening as our bodies are being prepared, as our emotions, as our brains are being prepared, as our thoughts, as we release those mental loops. When we're pigeonholing onto a dot, we create stories around it and we create mental and emotional loops, and it's like a trapping device. I don't want to talk too much about the matrix because I'm going to talk about that. We trap ourselves. We solidify ourselves into the third dimension. When we free that up and we lighten it up and we hold more light and we expand to that full perspective, and we realize we can play on this huge playing field of perspective, that energy comes in to heal that dot. I'm gonna give you an example of perspective, of a very third dimensional perspective. And some of you know me and you know that I'm not at my home. My really amazing sister-in-law invited my family to come and stay at her mountain house in the Rocky Mountains. So it is very different than my sitting at home in New Jersey where I live. I am looking out over the Rocky Mountains right now. It is insanely beautiful. Talk about changing perspective. So that's a third dimensional change. I'm changing my location. Thank you, Danielle. Danielle says, I love that. Replay, please. Yes, Amani, absolutely, for the replay. I read this quote the other day. Stop. Okay. Danielle says, stop shrinking yourself to fit the places that you've outgrown. I love that. Yes. And can I add to that, Danielle? Stop trying to put yourself in someone else's definition of the space. You're right. Like, I've done that so much in life. Certainly as children, we do that. We want to please our parents, right? And then we bottleneck our energy when we focus on the dot. Exactly. Now, and once again, sometimes that dot, it's important to focus on the dot. But then if we start defining our lives and pull all of our focus to that dot, which can seem really challenging if you're unwell in some way, but it's the key, because the fact of the matter is you are alive, and all of your energy, all of your sacred geometry, all of your mental loops will loosen out and start to heal you. Your body's so beautifully alive and pulsing with life as you widen out the perspective. So the dot comes in to say, hey, focus on this a bit, focus here, heal, but anything you need to do to help shift. And then the shifting begins, which, we're going to get to. Yes. And perspective for sure. Okay, so here I am in the Rocky Mountains. I'm going to tell you something about perspective. It's okay. It's okay to change location, simply to change your perspective. We do this all the time. We go on vacations, and there's this aspect of, oh, I needed that, assuming it was a good vacation. It's not always a good vacation. Someone else is coming in. Diana. Hi, Diana. Welcome to the meeting. We are just chit-chatting a bit, and how come everyone's on mute still? And oh, that's okay. You are welcome to keep yourself muted, but you can also jump in and unmute yourself. So I'm just talking about perspective. And when I arrived, my sister-in-law brought me outside at night. And I'll tell you, in New Jersey, you cannot see stars where I am very well. It's lit. It's a lit place on the planet. So here I am, and I look up, and I'm at over 9,000 feet. So there are the stars, like right above, like ceiling on my head, and I felt like I could lift up and just like in like It's a Wonderful Life, when they go to lasso the moon, I could have lassoed that moon, and we were going into a full moon. And I felt as if, so here are the Rocky Mountains, so I have this container right in front of me and behind me. I'm surrounded by these wall of mountains, and right above my head is the sky, and then there's this snow, and I felt like I was in a container of miracles. And I knew I had the power, and I was called to go live with all of you now while I'm here, accessing, bringing this energy to you. And this is a radical change in perspective. It's a very third dimensional change in perspective. So what does that mean? Because it's fine to change your perspective and shake it up a bit and feel maybe disoriented. Oh, travel has always been, this is Crystal, one of my powerful tools for different perspective of my life or life situation at that present moment. Exactly. And you can do that simply, changing rooms in your house for people who are inside, right? So you can change things surrounding you, like try moving your furniture around in your room to change perspective. You're gonna go, whoa. But the issue with relying on that method of people who always go on vacations, which I advocate, go ahead, go travel, go shake it all up, is that you're gonna bring all of your mental and emotional loops with you. So if you have not worked earnestly clearing your dots, your individual dots for which you focus, you're bringing them with you, and you're going to create them in a new landscape. So this is part of, so then what's true change in perspective? So it's fine to get you going and realizing there's a different way. I can feel different. I have different thoughts in this place than I do over here in this place. Maybe it's more aligned. Maybe you can try to move if that really serves you. But what true change in perspective is an energetic change in perspective. And it's really bringing you back to your authentic expression of your power as a source energy being, playing with the full canvas of a painting. You're playing with so many little dots, you're playing. I am not exempt from having physical things happen that I have carried for decades. But as I change perspective, my interpretation of this changes with me. And it can seem scary at times to literally almost go into a creation, go into a dot to bring you out. It's like going through a portal to the other side. So you're going in, just like Seurat was creating every single little dot with the intention of a viewpoint of an amazing full work of art. So we choose to have many little dots of experiences. But when we think our whole canvas is that one dot, is where we get into stuck. As opposed to, we create dots of experiences to hold a full work of art. And that's where healing comes in, and we change our energy. So with a 5-dimensional perspective, it's as if we move into an expansion to hold more light. And we're being supported in the universe. We're able to do now, and I've been alive for a few decades now, so I can really say this with like true, like this is true. But we hold the perspective as we are being supported to do things that we were not able to even do 10 years ago. Like, I think of the energy that was coming through and the images that was coming through for me even a decade ago, 2 decades ago, and the energy wasn't there to support it. So having mercy of forgiveness to your parents, your ancestors, your siblings, yourself, because we're all together in this journey. So you can focus on your own work of art, but it also crosses into other works of art because we're connected. And then you know, what I referenced earlier about what we're all going through now globally, we're all connected in our little dots to widen out to the full perspective and own yourself as a sovereign being. As much as you can widen out, widen out. You ever heard people say widen back? I don't know if it's really back, but widen, expand. Would anyone like to comment or share anything before I go into actual things to do, like immediately to help yourself? Okay, so I'm going to continue. So I keep having a client of mine in my mind who is physically experiencing their body not supporting them toward life. And even with this, so sometimes we come in on a spiritual level to have lessons. Even with this, when you get to the point of expansion of loving life, you love your life, this shifts the energy and heals whatever healing looks like. And we're all responsible for our own healing. It's why I hesitate to use the language saying I'm a healer, because really I'm a conduit to hold space for you to heal yourself. And we all do that for ourselves, but sometimes we ask people to hold space for us and help us along the way. So I'm going to also address people who are really suffering right now and having some things go on that are seems so challenging. How can I even have the luxury? And it's not a luxury. It feels like a luxury to talk about a whole work of art when you're so focused on taking care of your family, having a place to live, finding food. You know, there are things that are so third dimensional, you know, getting a job, making money. Those are third dimensional things. So how do you hold perspective? How do you widen out? Right off the bat, I wrote things down before we get into the meditation. And I keep glancing. I have to tell you, I feel like a little bit of, I have something because the Rocky Mountains are in front of me. I keep looking out. It's so insanely beautiful. So I'm immediately going to address nature. The reason one technique you can immediately do, hopefully, is to get yourself out in nature. And nature, with what you're going through, because I have some people in this audience who are actually homebound, can be bringing flowers into your house, right? Having crystals in your house. So connect yourself to nature, because it immediately, the energy of nature heals. It absolutely does. There are some Native American traditions when people go through trauma, they bury the person, not their head, they keep their head above ground, but they're surrounded by people in their community and they put them in the ground, because the earth is healing, her energy is healing, and the ionic exchange of the earth. So nature, being around trees and leaves and air, and, you know, right now, the mountains, I simply glance up right now and perspective, widening out perspective. So go into nature, allow yourself to receive nature's healings. Go talk to trees. I'm not kidding you. They will answer you. So for those of you who find that a little strange, spend more time in nature. Okay, so nature's naturally healing. Something you can do that immediately shifts your energy and they're together, but they shift energy, is gratitude and laughter. So whatever you're experiencing, you might not be in the mood to laugh. Maybe you need to listen to a comedian to laugh. Or I posted a video of a baby laughing. So you're around someone who laughs. Go, you know, put yourself, have light, expanded people around you. So that'll help you lighten up, lighten, hold more light, expand perspective. But everyone here can, in their hearts, and even if you focus on one thing at a time, That will expand your energy, gratitude, and really, really, really feel it. So I'm so grateful right now for all of you who have joined me, and for those of you who have set the intention to join me. I open my heart to you and I welcome you here with me. Thank you for giving me a feeling of community, and I hope to that gift to give you that gift as well, of inclusion and community. So right off the bat, we can all be thankful, and that will immediately shift perspective. And this one's super duper helpful if you're experiencing hardship, because hardship are those dots where we get stuck. You know, if you're trying to make money to eat, how on earth do you expand perspective? And as you build gratitude and bring that energy to you, you laugh, you bring that energy to you. Have you ever had those incidents that seem like miracles? And that's where those energies come into you. So sometimes I spend the day as a practice thanking everything. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, mountains. Thank you, snow. Thank you, all of you. And then it seems like people start giving me things. It's true, I did that the other day. I had people giving me discounts. I wasn't even asking for discounts. Everywhere I went, someone said, oh, I can help you with that. Here, boom. I can help you with that, boom. And they start to give me things. So, and that made me feel like I was on the right track. And then my perspective really swelled out. And then I'd give back. Does anyone have anything to add with that? Yes, Crystal.
When I was really, really sick and bedbound and I couldn't move, and you get this desperation to you. But what I really tried to focus on is, because at that time I could barely move my body. I was so grateful that my lungs would move, because that was keeping my breath. And then I was grateful for my dogs being with me because they were so healing to me. So it's like finding anything and everything to have gratitude at that moment. And the days that I was unable to walk on my own and lost the ability, every single day, this is the most beautiful thing I think I've ever had in my life, was every single day I woke up with a white feather on me. And that was honestly the gratitude that I held every day in my heart, was that I knew I wasn't going through this alone. I wasn't alone. And that I knew that as in a dark place as I was, the dark night of the soul, I knew that I was always supported and protected in that space. And that was my gratitude. And that's what I held every day. So it's like, even if you are in those dark moments of the soul, just if you could find one tiny little thing that you can manifest as your light, your gratitude, that just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
And there's so much wisdom in what you shared. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because so many people in this audience have physical and mental things going on that's truly, truly, truly like, how do I get out of this hole that I'm experiencing? And part of it is exactly what you've just guided everyone to do. But while you were talking, there's a light that's dancing above you. So you're talking about being supported in light, and then it would come and cover you. So truly it's beautiful. You're like an angel talking. So I feel, I sense with that you're really touching people with what you say. You're so helping people. And indeed you are supported. Yeah. And we all are supported energetically, but we support ourselves. So realizing when you took your power back, Crystal, to say, what can I do? What do I do? And those answers that come to you, yeah, be grateful. But you said something really important, and it's something I have written down. So I'm going to highlight something that you said too. One thing everyone can do right away. Sometimes our experiences are here and we judge them because they're somehow painful to us. So we want to avoid them, or act like they don't exist. That is like removing the dots from the painting, the work of art, and then you have gaps with nothingness. Life will keep putting you into those circumstances until you allow yourself the experience. And the experience can happen really quickly, but it will get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until you acknowledge it and witness it. Science has finally been able to show that when we simply witnessing cells in the body, they behave differently. So if we witness, and I'm going to say yourself, if you witness yourself with love, your cells expand into this beautiful crystalline structure, the sacred geometrical structure, and it holds more light. If we witness ourselves with judgment that's lower frequency, maybe negatively polarized, we shrink, we shrivel, we get misshapen. So to be grateful for all of your experiences and witness, one thing that you can do when something's going on, once again, this does not apply if you are in active physical or mental danger, that you need to remove yourself from harm's way, right? This is if you're in a safe space. Simply sit with yourself or lie down and witness yourself and breathe. Our tendency is to do something, to go, we're upset, we go even to, and I don't mean, maybe we need to get out in nature simply to be willing to sit with ourselves, that's fine. But maybe, instead of going to eat something, let me go grab whatever you might eat to comfort yourself. Let me go turn the television on to distract ourselves. And I'm even talking about not even using sound. I mean, music can be incredibly healing, but simply take some moments to breathe with yourself and your body. And without any judgment or interpretation, witness yourself. Where is your attention being drawn? And keep breathing. And if thoughts pop up, simply witness it. And bring your attention back to your heart and your breath. If a sensation comes up, witness it. And just like Crystal suggested, what do you need from me right now? You're asking really a higher aspect of yourself. You're asking your source self. What is it? What do you want that you're calling my attention to this dot, to this, right, this spot? And breathe. I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Because sometimes what comes up are things we don't want to witness, and we get sucked into it. Well, this person did this to me, said that. No one's doing anything to you. If you can hold the bigger perspective, it's so much easier to let it go and allow the energy in that's there to heal you for your highest and best good. You're doing it. So exactly what in Crystal's example she shared that she did, that seemed like it was natural for her to do, is one of the key things to do, right? So you want to breathe and witness yourself, because everything's going to go back to you and your connection to source energy. You're the one creating it. You're the one determining the placement of the dots. Sometimes energetically, I'm going to jump a little bit into talking to healing work and the sacred geometrical structures from working with clients. We also bring with us things coming in from our ancestral line to heal, and is given to us as a gift to pass through those energetic lines, that field of possibilities, and choose something different, because we're now being supported in the energy where it's possible for us to make different choices and be supported. Would anyone like to say anything before I go into the meditation part of this? Oh, there's one more thing I want to share with you. An exercise. Okay. This exercise, I share this with clients all the time. It comes from a company called Star's Edge. A man named Harry Palmer started a company called Star's Edge that is a work in consciousness, and so many amazing tools. You can go online and download a bunch of stuff for free from Star's Edge. But one of the things I tell clients, let's say you're dealing with a situation, let's say you're witnessing something, you're out somewhere, or someone's at you. So you feel like someone's directing something at you, or you're witnessing something that feels really negatively polarized, or it's creating a lot of upset or hurt in people. Having the widened perspective, you become the observer. You're simply, once again, witnessing. And when you start to own that perspective, you actually can switch what's playing out. That's really cool. But let's get to and that takes practice. But simply put it in a box. Yeah, it's like you're watching a movie. You know, when you're watching TV, you know, there are times you're simply watching something. It doesn't affect you. You're not scared. You're watching it. Sometimes things happen where you get sucked in. I do advocate stepping out of mainstream media and when being really careful what you put your attention on when it comes to movies, music, you know, news, definitely news, but you're watching it. I have had experiences where someone gets angry at me and they start giving it to me, and I feel myself taking it on, and I put the person in a box. I screen them. And I detach energy. I detach my energy, bring it back to them. I put their energy back to them, send their energy. I literally take like a lightsaber. I cut their energy and I send it back to them. And then I can watch them. And if you watch them, it shifts. They have nothing to hold on to. They can't hook into their energy lines, can't attach into your energy lines. You're not holding a space. You do not have a dot for them to place their connection. It's just a dot. It's not yours. My universe is expand. Hold the expansion. Or maybe and then you can ask, if you're holding the full picture, what's the purpose? What am I in service to this person simply to help them shift? And breathe. Okay? This is only if you're not being physically or mentally harmed in some way. I'm not advocating to take on someone else's energy. It's quite the opposite. So Harry Palmer calls this sometimes minding the edges. Mind the edges, take the full perspective on this creation. And you then decide if you're really watching it, it's an illusion. I'm going to shift. If you really want someone to shift, and this, once again, you're not in a situation where someone's actively trying to harm you, you might find what they're doing quite funny if you start to watch them and start cracking up. Try to see someone come at you when you're laughing. They can't maintain it, right? It immediately shifts the energy. So big fan of laughter. Would anyone like to add anything? Someone said, oh, love that, Pamela. Thank you, Crystal. Do you feel ready? You can give me a thumbs up if you feel ready for the meditation. Okay. All right, great. So now I am going to go in and mute everybody. Okay. So this meditation is a practice to immediately put you in an expanded perspective. And so you may close your eyes if that works for you. Sometimes it's much easier if someone closes their eyes. You may lie down or sit down. If you're sitting down, either sit crisscrossed or with your feet flat on the floor, but make yourself comfortable. You can do this when you're in bed. I actually do this even sometimes when I'm outside and I realize I'm pigeoning my perspective down to a dot to expand out. So you can do this with your eyes open. I'm actually going to do this with my eyes open, but please go ahead and close your eyes if you wish and receive this energy. So come into your heart with an awareness to your heart space and breathe. Slow, deep breaths. Maybe you scan your body and realizing where your energy and your attention is being called to at this moment, and breathe into that space. giving yourself permission to release. Call back all parts and aspects of you. Anywhere you've given your energy away, bring yourself back into this now moment. Bring your attention here. Everything that exists in the fuller perspective of your painting is there for you always. Bring yourself into your heart, your expression of source, your power center. Maybe smiling, giving your heart space. So much gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be in a body. And with this gratitude and this openness in your heart and this deeper breathing, becoming aware that above you is a stream of energy, a stream of radiant light. This light is beautiful, iridescent light, golden light. And if you perceive other colors, that's right for you. Simply allow yourself to be showered with this light. And as you're being showered with this light, feel it streaming down as if from above you or over you if you're lying down. Absorbing into your body, washing away anything that no longer serves you, any density, any mental loops, any emotional loops. Free it out, allow it to loosen, coming into the crown of your head, allowing you to connect even further with your expanded source perception, allowing this light to come into your third eye, expanding the jewel of your brain, your physical eyes, your physical ears, removing that veil of illusion so that you see the truth within you. The further you go inside, it brings you further out through the portal into the expansion of perception. Allow that energy to wash through your jaw, your neck, activating your vocal cords so that you speak your truth. Speak from a source perspective into your heart space. Take a deep breath, allowing your heart to expand, allowing that energy to run down your arms into your hands. Everything that you touch is an expression of you as a source being. Allow this energy to come into your solar plexus. As you feel yourself expand, you step into yourself more and more as a source being. You are the artist creating the painting. Make it glorious. Realize you have a full canvas on which to play, coming into your sacral region, your point of creation, your point of fun. Creating is fun. Washing away anywhere you've bought into, any mental loops, any negatively polarized thought forms that you are not the one creating, that it's not fun anymore. Release that all away. Let it wash. I'm sensing people getting actually a cleansing of things coming through from the ancestral line, places where your ancestors have suffered. Let that wash away into your root. You are safe. You are safe. Feel your root expand, your base, and allowing this energy to wash down your legs, where you allow yourself movement in your body. Anywhere you have felt stuck, anywhere where you've given away your freedom, I'm sensing you being able to use beyond your legs, beyond your mobility. Mobility is going to look very different in the future timeline. You have access to that now. Allow all this energy to cleanse, and as if there's a cord connecting you all the way through your feet into Gaia. So Earth, Gaia is a higher dimensional grid system of Earth. So down, connecting yourself. You've decided to be in a body, so connect yourself to Earth. as if you're going all the way into the crystalline center of Earth, the heart, the very heart of Gaia. And allow your energy to attach there, knowing that Gaia provides you as an expression on this Earth, this connection between Earth and source energy. You on the in-between are available to receiving all of her wisdom and healing simply by allowing it. And allow as if there's a golden fluid energy that flows up your cord of attachment to the center heart of Gaia, pulling her energy up, all the way up into your body, into the bottom of your feet, up your legs, setting the intention to further expand and allow you to come into your body's full expression, into your sacral region, through your root. Allow these areas to expand on your body so that everything you create is supported here to manifest for your highest and best good on this earth in this lifetime. Sometimes when people experience trauma, they pull out of their bodies. This allows you to feel safe in your body and heal, allowing this energy to go up into your solar plexus region, furthering your power and sovereignty in a body, calling in anywhere you've given your power away, allowing those structures to dissolve that have taught you that you are alone, that you're not powerful. Allow that to wash away. Allow Gaia to expand that out and allow it to dissolve, and bringing that energy up into your heart space. Allowing your heart to further expand with this unconditional love that's always there supporting you from the earth, complete non-judgment. Gaia's energy has combined with yours to be the canvas of your playing in your body, where you get to experience yourself as an expression of source in a body. So your heart-to-heart connection between your heart and source energy, and your heart and Gaia, and your unique pulsation of your heart. That frequency that infuses you, your very structures, your DNA, your sacred geometry, your toroidal field, that energy that loops around you. Take a deep breath, focusing on your heart space with this connection between your heart and source and Gaia combined together. And as if there's a sphere of light in your heart center, if you choose to allow this expansion, allow on your next breath this sphere to expand, encompassing your entire body, 360 degrees. Possibly it forms an elliptical shape. On your next inhale, allowing this energy connection of your heart and source and Gaia to expand out and hold the room that you're in. And on the next inhalation, expanding your energy out to the building where you reside. Relax. If there's a part of you that is calling your attention, a part of your human body, smile to it, breathe, and then continue the expansion. The healing of my hands are active for all of you. So even if you're listening to this on the replay, this healing energy is going to come through as powerfully for you as if you were alive. And on your next inhale, allow yourself to expand out as if your energy field is holding the state where you reside. Some of you may wish to breathe and hold your town or city. Allow yourself to hold your state, your region. And on your next inhale, feel your energy expand, holding the country where you reside. And if you feel your energy wish to stay, allow yourself that. If you feel your energy wish to expand even further, allow yourself that, as there are no borders. The borders are a third dimensional construct. On your next inhale, allow your energy to expand out, holding the continent where you reside. And then on the next inhale, allow your energy to expand out, holding Earth herself, holding Gaia. This enormous creation. Gaia is often referred to Earth as a female. And within us, all of us have female and male within us. Allow yourself to enjoy this energy. And from this enormous expanded perspective, some of you may have wished to expand out into the universe. We are all always connected, if you're in a human body, to all of Earth and out into the universe. And when you hold this enormous expanded perspective, you realize that it's your creation. This is your canvas. And from this expanded perspective, anywhere you are struggling or have a negative polarization or someplace you feel pain, it's tiny from an expanded perspective. It's simply a dot. And maybe from an expanded perspective, you thank it for being a part of the portrait of your life, your ancestors' life, this now moment on the planet that we've all been born connected. Give permission for this to release and light to flow in. Feeling safe in the expansion, holding more and more light, releasing any density, releasing all hooks, cords, attachments, and densities, holding you to any illusion of a narrow perspective. Expand out, release, relax. Some of you might be feeling an expansion physically, maybe within your mental body, your emotional body. Relax. Breathe. And from this expanded perspective, with you as a source being creating this, you are free to call in all aligned energies to you in this expanded perspective that are aligned with what you wish to experience and create in this lifetime. So you can call these energies to you because you hold the energy field to access all aligned energy. And in doing this, we respect every other sentient being aspect of source, calling in healing and a release from anywhere you've held on to any density, any negatively polarized beliefs, any constructs, any existence within the matrix where you have created constriction. Let it go and expand and simply be. So when life shows you something, recognize it as one of your dots for your benefit. How does witnessing this dot benefit you? What is there for you to release? Are you done with the contrast? Are you done with the duality? Let it go. And breathe. Stay in your body. Take a deep breath. Knowing that in your human body, as we're being supported to further expand and expand and expand, the third dimension comes in upon us. And sometimes from that perspective, it takes time because time is a construct of the third dimension. When you expand out and hold a full perspective, and you hold more light, there's no such thing as time. It's simply a field of perspective and opportunity for you to play. And when you're doing this on your own, you may hold this expanded perspective and this expansion of your energy for as long as you wish. And for right now, pulling all of your energy back in, pulling it back from the universe, from the earth. And Gaia, I'm here to remind you that when you hold your energy over Gaia, you are pulling in aligned energy. So just simply know that as other beings of source find you and align with your energy and you attract to each other, you know, sometimes people are going through their own process. So it might take on a third dimensional existence, quote, time, but you have a perspective to release and reach out that folds timelines. If what I just said makes you uncomfortable, that's okay. Simply breathe and come into your heart. Pulling your energy fully back in toward yourself. Pulling all of your energy in, all the healing, all the expansion in through the crown of your head. Anchoring it so you see your inner universe into your heart. Acknowledging yourself as a source being connected to source. Into your sacral region where you create within your body. And all the way down into the crystalline core of Gaia, asking Gaia to dissolve any energy or any energy that no longer serves you in this lifetime. Release it and allow it to dissolve. Ask for her help if you wish. And her healing that's always here for you. And allow this energy to flow back up your energy and root it into your sacral region and pull it all the way up into your heart, that midpoint of you between source and Gaia. And when you feel complete, open your eyes. Come back into your body. Maybe you wish to move around a little bit. That's okay, Diana, with your camera. I'm so glad you can listen. Anyone like to say anything? Would anyone like to say anything before we close off this meeting? I hope that you all feel wonderful. Yeah. And I'd like to remind you that perspective. So if you want to say anything, you kind of mute yourself. You have, I've given you permission to mute yourself. Oh, thank you. Diana said, lovely meditation. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Diana. You're welcome, Crystal. So it's practice. It's practice. And when you find yourself pulling in, sometimes you wish to pull in. Sometimes you wish to pull in. I know I pulled in and focused a lot when I went to acupuncture school in herbs. It became my life. You know, it was like, wow, laser focus. Everything else drifted to the sides. And sometimes you pull in to move through a portal. Our emotions sometimes are invitations to go in. Have you ever seen pictures of science? They have these like little constant snapshots of you going closer, closer, closer. So it brings you down from through your cellular structure and then your DNA. And then as you go further in, it looks like what happens out in the universe. It's the same sacred geometry that's out in the universe. Like, so, you know, as within, so without. It's the same dance. And sometimes if something moves us through, if we stand and witness it, sit and witness it, our attention, and we move through the portal into the expansion, and the experience is complete. And you mark it. I sometimes say that's marked, downloaded, and complete. I'm done with that. Thank you. And you heal it for your ancestral line. So thank you. I think that's it, right? Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. This will be available as a replay. I'm going to send it out to my email community, and then I'll put it on YouTube and probably my Facebook business page. So YouTube, I'm Pamela.Strum. On my Facebook business page is called Princeton Healing House. If you pull up Pamela Strum, you'll get like my personal life, which you're welcome to go check it out too. I've made it public. No, did I make that public? That might not be public. Maybe it is. I don't remember, but my business page is public. But please, please, you are mighty, mighty light beings. You are beings of source. You hold the power. So please know that. Please know that and receive that. And I love you all. And I will be in touch. Please also join my email, because that's where my first announcements come out. So the next subject is the matrix. I'm so excited. Woo, it like, I'm like, but the matrix, I'm like, that's like that crosses over into my modalities, but I'm hearing talk about it on its own. Okay. That has to do with distorted and tangled energy and the illusion, because it's time to clear that nonsense all out. Right. All right. Have a great day, everybody.